Hello, I am going to be talking about Sidoni Lopez Perez's essay and how some of the authors that are mentioned relates to the course materials. The one that really stands out to me is Samson Occam's a sermon preached at the execution of Moses Paul in 1772, because he is one of the first writers of and critics of colonization that was happening back at that time, and especially as Professor Hamilton talked about at 1450 in his video, that all humanity is equally depraved, talking about everyone is challenged, and especially the alcoholism that's going on, but also he's calling out the fact that, like, hey, this was not indigenous culture. It was kind of pushed onto the people. And so I like the idea of calling out, but also like being in a gentler way. And So I am going to be running for city councillor in Toronto Centre, and my work is with unhoused individuals, and I really want to figure out how to call out the oppressive ways that the government are harming unhoused people, and do include a lot of Indigenous people. And I feel like these books will really help me to connect, to look at the history and look at the ways that Indigenous culture reintroduced to the community, as well as pushing back and rebelling from the oppressive systems that were happening at that time. William Apes and Lopez Perez mentions The Son of the Forest, which talks about the treatment of people during the Indian removal bill. But it also does talk a lot about Christianity, and I am conflicted as somebody who is recently been baptized and is working in a church and working in the drop-in, and that's how I'm getting connected with community. But also I am very aware and have experienced some harms from the church too. So I find a lot of these authors really fascinating who do connect with Christianity and Indigenous culture. And I did like 2420 when Professor Hamilton in his video was talking about how Apes was basically calling out people, white people, to their consciousness and their actions, and the harms that they have been causing. Another author that I want to explore is David Cusick of the Tuscarora Nations for his novel Sketches of Ancient History of the Six Nations. Personally, because my family thinks that my grandmother was from Six Nations Tuscarora, so I would love to learn the history about that. And thinking about that really does connect me to Francine Cunningham's On Identity poem, because just this idea of connecting to ancestors and questioning so much about my identity and about life. And identity is constantly being talked about. And another author who looks really interesting who's exploring identity is Darcy McNichol, who has the novel The Surrounded, which EBSCO.com says that identity of mixed races, which I can relate to. Colonial influences struggle with guilt and community customs, the theme of self-discovery, loss, challenges, and reconciliation, modern life and traditional values. This does also connect with what we read with Luther Standing Bear and Zakalisha on their commenting of the illnesses of the culture, the dominant culture, and potential of us being healed, as well as especially Tommy Orange's theme of identity.